our way to the left up here, we're going to go into Hockey Puku. Okay, that's the Hockey Puku. So we got several people going the wrong direction. They're not supposed to be here. They're not supposed to be there. We're the only ones going the right way here today. So, and the left there, you see the bunkers, right? Everywhere you go in Hawaii, it doesn't matter where you go in Hawaii, you see leftovers from that era, right? The World War II era. There's bunkers. We're going to make our way into that section, the Hockey Puku section. Now on the left there, you can see the bay, right? Honey Bay. The largest protected bay, protected by a reef. Yeah, there's a reef out there. So you can see there's no waves, right? Hardly any waves inside the bay. They're about 800 years old, a little over 800 years old. They're about 150 acres, probably 125, 130 acres really, and about 4 feet. They're not very deep. They're only about 4 feet deep. The fish ponds are a great way to have a sustainable fishery, and nobody has to go fishing. Fishing is highly overrated. Fishing is very selfish. We talk about ohana. We say ohana. Yeah, you guys are. They all came here. I'll show you some. Trading on the trees, right? You can sail them. They sail everywhere. Very strong laxative. So the joke is, if you eat pupui, you have to go pupui. You gotta watch out for that. State treat is pupui. Now back here, if you look around, about 80% of what you see is report. We have stuff here from every continent, every single continent, except for Antarctica. So I'll show you right here. All the years of trade. So you guys came here on an airplane, right? Came here on a big old airplane. Well, that wasn't until the 1970s, right? So Hawaii, right in the middle of the ocean, got all kinds of freshwater streams. That's how we wound up with all this stuff. All the years of trade. There used to be a huge ironwood and sandalwood tree. Jerry, bumpy, 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 okay? Bumpy, bumpy, bumpy. Hold on to each other. Hold on to something. Bumpy, bumpy, bumpy. Watch your heads. Don't bang your heads together. So as you travel around the world with your sailboat, right? Sailing in a big old vessel, right? Big, huge sailing vessel. Guys like Christopher Columbus. They needed fresh water. You're going to run out of fresh water in about a week. All your animals, all your ohanas, they're going to need fresh water. There ain't no fresh water on the ocean. First, we're going to talk about the noni fruit tree. Here's this tree on the right. This is a super important tree. Very, very, very important tree. Noni, N-O-N-I. See the green and yellow fruits there? Yeah. The green and yellow fruits, and the tree has purple roots. You've heard of the Aborigines, yes? The Aborigines. You've heard of those guys, right? Yeah. The Aborigines left South Africa about 85,000, right around 85,000 years ago. They left South Africa. We're all from South Africa, by the way. Fireworks. It's windy up here. Hold on to your hats and your backpacks and your eyelashes. My whole way. So up here is Hockey Puku Valley. sleep on. Make baskets and hats, sandals, sails, rope, shingles on the roof of your hut so the rain doesn't come in. The pandanus, they call it the hulla tree here in Hawaii. H-A-L-A, hulla. What's that? Press that pedal on the right. Get about the horizontal. Press that vertical pedal. Start action, right? I'm gonna park here. This time, Jerry, we may not have it as spectacular. We'll see what we can do. Cut, copy, cut, paste, cut, copy, paste. Yeah, together. I'll show you the tree they use. The tree they use for the jungle, like Tears of the Sun. Remember Tears of the Sun with Bruce Willis? That was filmed out here. And Jumanji, and Godzilla, and Mighty Joe Young, and 50 States. And also, remember the gyrosphere? Remember the glass ball thing, the fantasy ball? Remember Zach and Gray, the two brothers, two boys? Zach and Gray. They're cruising around in the gyrosphere, right? The glass ball. Cruising around in the gyrosphere. They wind up getting attacked, right? They go through the gap. He's like, dude, we're VIP, bro. So they go through the gap, right? They go through the gap in the pits. They wind up getting attacked by the Indominus, right? Camouflage them. So they have to escape. And I'll show you where the attack happens now. In the jungle. That is your imagination. The jungle, right? Relatively safe. Just a little bit of CGI, a little bit of HD cameras, maybe some IMAX, that kind of thing. So yes, cows, they've been here since 1793. Now they're not on this side of the range because they're having babies. Right now they're having babies, so they're on the other side. Yeah. This is a calf cow. Now, mama cow, baby cow, mama cow, baby cow. We don't have any dairy cows, we don't have any show cows, we don't have any contest cows. Every single one of the animals, every single one, except for the horses, we don't eat the horses. But every other animal will be processed for ohana. When you live on an island, it's a little bit different, right? We talk about malama aina. Those animals are part of malama aina. We feed our ohana with the cows, right? You guys like steaks? Remember, right? Now, they're not pets. Now, the jungle here. So if you use your imagination, okay? Pretend you're a director, okay? Put your director hat on. You're a director now. You got your mountains peeking through the trees. If you look up to your left, you see the jungle mountains, right? Godzilla, Mighty Joe Young, that kind of thing. You got little mountains peeking through the trees. And then you got a stream over here, right? There's a little stream. Tears of the Sun, Wind Talkers, Nicolas Cage, yeah, that kind of thing. So right here, right here, use your imagination a little bit. Any jungle you want, right? If you want Cambodia, just CGI a little Cambodia over here. You want some Africa? CGI some Africa. Mexico? CGI a little Mexico. You'd be surprised how many movies were filmed right here. You got all the stuff, you got all the elements that you need to make a jungle scene. Every episode of Lost, stuff like that, Jumanji and Kong Skull Island. This is where the gyrosphere, right there in front of you, is where the gyrosphere was attacked. Ankylosaurus and the Indominus Rex and these big old trees, right? The big monkey paw trees, they're in the scene. The monkey paw trees are in that scene. Zach and Gray have to escape. Now, right over here, Kong, Skull Island. When they go to Kong's island, he's not very happy, right? Kong, he starts knocking their helicopters out of the sky because they're dropping bombs, right? They're dropping bombs on his island. So he knocks all the helicopters out of the sky and they crash, right? They crash towards space. Bury his comrades. Bury the scene. You can see Samuel L. Jackson right in the middle. Kong, Skull Island. So Kong knocks all the helicopters out of the sky and they crash. So he has to do the burial scene there. And you see Samuel L. Jackson right there in the middle. Of course, the helicopter's not real. If you look on top of the mast up there, on top of the rotor blades, that's an upside down cookie walker. They bought from Target down the road. So you never know what they're going to use, right? They don't want to spend a lot of money. They want to make a lot of money, right? Put your director hat on. If you're a director, you don't want to spend a lot. You want to make a lot. So they use styrofoam and stucco with the movie props. Now, you see this tree up here? Look at the ivy that grows up the tree. See that ivy? The abuelita, she used to call them elephant ears, yeah? But elephant ears, they only grow in the ground, right? In the ground, in the water. There's 3 kinds of them. That ain't one of them, okay? But look at that tree. See that ivy? So put your director hat back on. Imagine, if you will, imagine that you put that on all the trees, right? All the trees. Put that ivy up and down every tree, up and down all the trees. It makes it look darker and denser and thicker, right? Makes it look like a spooky jungle. So imagine, if you will, you put that on all the trees. You got your Tears of the Sun. Remember that? Bruce Willis? They were standing right down there in the street. Tears of the Sun. What's left over anyway, you know? Sitting in the rain almost 11 years. Almost wrecks. Over there by the banana tree, you can see the African tulip. That interesting looking red, orange looking flower over there by the bananas. That's where Mr. Maserati lands the helicopter. Remember, the guy gets out air sick. Mr. Maserati lands the helicopter over there. And all the equipment, right? The truck, the cranes, the compressors, the generators, all the scaffolding, all that stuff. It was all right down there where the grass is.